Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to Barbie's office space. It's her home and office playset, which we talked about in one of my latest videos. If you haven't checked it out yet, you can check it out. I'll try to remember to put a link down in the description box below. But I brought her up again because I wanted to show you something. You see, I bought some dolls over the holidays, but well, then I got so busy with holidays, and you guys know my work schedule is crazy. I appreciate you guys having patience with me, taking forever to put out new videos, but I promise I have a whole bunch of stuff to show you. And we're going to start with, well, we have a little friend here for our wonderful Barbie doll. And of course that means that I bought the Barbie After Party doll. So this is styled by Andrew Mukamal. Mukamal? I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry. Mukamal? Mukamal? I'm sure I butchered that. But she's a beautiful doll. She's using the Superstar face mold, which I thought was tons of fun. And so I thought, wouldn't it be neat to kind of bring her out, get her out of this box, and compare her to our day to night Barbie. Of course, it's not going to be a perfect one-to-one comparison, and I don't mean to compare in a this one's better than that one kind of way, because they're two completely different generations of doll, right? Even though we're using the Superstar face mold, she's still a different imagining. She's got a more modern aesthetic, a more modern outfit, so we will look at them in context with the time frame that they are from. But also, I do want to do a little compare and contrast with them. How is this reimagining? What does she look like compared to the old one? How successful is she as a reimagining? So even though she's not specifically marketed as that reimagining, I think we can see the lineage here between these two dolls. So that's the discussion that we're going to have here today. Oh, she dropped her briefcase. And we are going to do this comparison. So let's get started. Okay, I put away all the set decoration pieces for right now because I really want to focus on this doll and not distract from her too much. So we'll use that as a background for her, but I don't want all the little pieces to get in the way and to interfere with the space that we need for her. So she's a beautiful doll. She's in this lovely box, actually. If you wanted to keep her boxed, I think this is a really nice presentation. I like how fun she is, with all of her accessories laid out around her. She reminds me of that book that they put out about Margot Robbie's looks for Barbie the movie. There's something about it that's kind of fun. I like the contrast, even though it's all pink. I think this background being a lighter shade of pink and polka dots, we get this pattern in the background with her in the foreground. I think that's really clever and really cute, and I think it's really well done. So, kudos to this box designer. So let's get into this box. Okay, I'm not going to show you the whole unboxing process, and I'm going to show you this. Why, Mattel, why is she sewn, her hair sewn to this plastic thing, and she has T-ties? That is such overkill. You don't need that. Look at the dolls from the 80s that are still standing in their box, and they literally might have something like this that they're sewn to, and that's it. You don't need all this drama. It's so annoying. So this has been a lot of this kind of nonsense to get through. I'll be right back. All right, and here she is out of the box. She comes with the Style by Design or Style by certificate of authenticity, and it's on cardstock, so it's not one of the papery ones like you get with the Barbie the movie dolls. She comes with, of course, her beautiful dress, which we'll talk about in just a moment. We get this. Now, this is my first model Muse, and that's the body that she's on. And she's in this contrapposto stance. So all of her weight is on her right leg, and her left leg is relaxed. And that shifts her weight. That's really interesting. I've not had one of these dolls before. Now, I know they're mixed as far as do people like them or not, because they're not really superposable. I don't think, their knees don't bend. They don't have any articulation in the elbows. So they're just kind of stuck more or less in a static pose, which, can be difficult. But I don't know, she's, not a playline doll. She is a collector doll. So that doesn't really bother me for a collector doll. In my opinion, I think that's just fine. So I'm just going to lean her against the playset for right now because I want to show you this cool stand that she comes with. Now, saddle stands, I'm not a fan of just in general, but I just wanted to show you the shape of this one. See how it's at an S shape? That is to counterbalance that contrapposto stance that she's in. How interesting is that? I just think that's cool. So, right, like look at her feet, how one is relaxed, this one's relaxed on our right, and this one is under tension. Super interesting. And then her whole body shifts in response to that. I kind of can't wait to look at her body mold. Like I said, this is my first model Muse body, so I'm really fascinated by it. Okay, so that out of the way. She also comes with these super cute sunglasses. Now, we've seen these before. These aren't earth-shattering, but they are adorable. And of course, they're a nod to an older style. So we get all these nods to kind of a traditional Barbie. I don't know. I feel like they do that a lot these days. Are we over that? Or is it still fun and nostalgic? She comes with these mules for her night look. So again, even though she's not called Day to Night Barbie, she very much is mirroring the look of Day to Night Barbie. I'm going to bring her back into the frame. I'm going to put her kind of in the background, but she'll be here in the frame so we can reference her. And Day to Night Barbie, of course, came with this little briefcase, but she's got her mules. So let's take a look at them side by side. So maybe I'll do this so my big hand's not in the way. So on our right, that's our after party Barbie shoe. And on the left, that's our day to night Barbie shoe. Look at how different they are. It's similar, right, in intent and similar in function. And I talked about the peep toe shoe being a very 80s kind of dressy shoe, this kind of sandal style being a very 80s kind of expression. So that's a fun kind of kickback. Now this one, the new one, is much taller. The heel is much taller, as you can see. That's not a perspective thing. That's really this. It's that much taller, which is actually a good thing. It always bothered me that these mules were never tall enough for Barbie's foot. Another difference, oops, dropped my awl. Another difference, I'll pull out another one. Another difference is there's no right or left to this shoe. You can see the tip of it's just rounded. You see how this one's shaped? That's shaped to go on her right foot. If I bring the left one into frame, can you see how the right and the left are shaped differently for our after party? And these are shaped identical to each other. So those are universal. Also, these are more of a purpley pink. They're a little bit more of maybe a fuchsia, where these are more of a hot pink. So interesting differences. There's even an indentation for her heel in this. Do you see that? There's an indentation here for her heel. That's interesting. I wonder if that'll make them fit better. We will have to try them both on. Now, the briefcase is something different. Our after party girl doesn't come with a briefcase or anything like that. She doesn't come with a laptop or any other thing. Where our day to night Barbie came with her briefcase, and she also came with this calculator. So she has a calculator to help her with her business needs. She also came with a purse. Now, both of them come with purses, so that's not anything new. Day to night Barbie's purse opens. Brand new. I think I've opened it one time. Well, you're going to take my word for it. I don't feel like forcing it open. There's nothing in here, I don't think. Oh, there we go. So Day to Night Barbie's purse opens. So it's not just a slab of plastic. You could put, she came with some little cardboard um, credit cards. You could put those in there. She's got a plastic strap. It's not a fabric strap, which is kind of a bummer. This would have been nice, would have been elevated if it were fabric or vinyl, not plastic. But even just the fact that it opens elevates it a little bit above our after party purse, which our after party purse, excuse me, girly, get this off your wrist. So her purse is just a slab of plastic. It doesn't open up at all. It's nicely made, so this has a little bit more style to it than, say, the Day to Night Barbie does, because while it opens, it's also kind of a weird shape, right? Like it's supposed to be like an envelope purse, but it's really clunky, and it's got a sticker on the front and on the back, but on the sides, it's just that cream plastic. So it's a little odd too in its styling, where this is at least very elegantly styled, meant to look like an Hermes bag. I think it's supposed to look like a Kelly bag, not an Hermes collector or fan. I'm not against them. It's just I am never gonna be able to afford one. So, if you know better than I do which bag this is supposed to be, let me know. I just watch enough YouTube shorts that I'm aware that this is a Hermes bag, or it's meant to look like one. So we will set that back there. She also comes with her day shoes. They both come with 2 pairs of shoes, one for night and one for day. And Day to Night Barbie, that looks like this pair of spectator shoes. Forgive her chewed up foot. That was a child and or critter before I owned her that did that to her. But she's got these beautiful spectator shoes. So this is a shoe style based off of menswear. So the spectator style was very popular starting in, I don't know when spectators started. I'll put a date on the screen here when spectators came into fashion for men. And they were kind of known as a casual shoe. They weren't a really dressy shoe. And then they picked up in popularity over time. And then eventually, when women joined the workforce, in large numbers in the 1980s, their workwear started to mimic the look of men's workwear. So the cut of their clothing and the style that they used was borrowed off of menswear, because men, of course, have been working in offices for ages, as long as there have been offices. So menswear has a long history, but for what to wear to work. But women's workwear doesn't have such a long history, so there's not as many cut and dried rules. That's why if you're a female identifying and you've had to get dressed for work and you've had a question of like, what does business look like? What does business casual look like? And there's like nebulous rules to it where it feels like there's hard and fast rules to men's clothing. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. So that's not just your imagination. So in our modern girl here, our contemporary girl here, I should say, her shoes aren't shoes at all. In fact, they are boots, and they are mirroring that spectator style, sort of, in that they have a pink toe cap. I'm torn on these. They look odd to me. Like I almost want them to button up like Victorian boots. Like I don't really know, and I got a heel too, but it doesn't extend. It's just the heel itself. It doesn't extend up into the heel counter. And they just look weird. So I'm going to put some pictures up of what spectator shoes looked like so you can compare. But this isn't at all based on anything historical. Like it's riffing on a woman's spectator shoe, which is riffing on a man's spectator shoe. So to me, this has become so derivative that it kind of loses the plot, which is such a bummer, because look at how beautifully sculpted they are. Look at how you get wrinkles in the side that are, activated or are defined because of her pose, because she's in that contrapposto pose. Look at how you can see a definition from the sole of the shoe to the upper of the shoe. There's some really nice sculpting going on here, and they're really beautiful. They go up pretty far to, about mid-calf, about go-go boot height. Really lovely, but really odd. They also have this convention where they're split up the back so that you can easily get them on and off the doll. I am not a fan of that. I understand why they do it. They do it so that they can nip this in snugger so it can look more form-fitting to the calf. It just looks odd to me. There's got to be a better solution to this. I've seen, isn't it Mini Fashions or somebody has made shoes that have actual zippers up the back? Like, just do that, Mattel. Put a little effort in. Give us some quality stuff. So it's a swing and a miss for me. They're cute, but they also look really odd. So I get it. I get what they were going for. I just don't know if it works. Another thing that I don't know if it works is this jacket. So she's wearing a modified suit. Again, you can see the lineage from Day to Night Barbie. So Day to Night Barbie is wearing this jacket that is kind of double-breasted, or it's meant to look double-breasted, and it's form-fitting. It's it's form-fitting in the front, but it's very boxy in the way it's cut, actually. It looks form-fitting because of the stand, how I have the stand on her. But it's actually rather a boxy cut, and then she's wearing it with this pencil skirt that goes to T-length. That's a modern T-length. That's not a true T-length. True T-length would be about where my thumb is at. But this is a more modern T-length, which is just below the knee. This also goes to just below the knee. It's a little bit of an awkward length, maybe a bit more of a T-length rather than, a modern T-length. But it's cute. It doesn't bother me. Some people have complained about it. To me, this dress, this look is Rachel Green. Like, think Rachel Green from Friends when she worked at Ralph Lauren. She wore cuts like this all the time when she was like in her height and at the height of her power, and with her job and all of that. You would see her wear these long skirts and jackets and beautiful suits, just beautifully dressed. And so the first time I saw this, I was like, oh, if Rachel Green wore pink. She wore greens and neutrals and a lot of more earth tones. So, her look's not quite this bright and vibrant, but the cut very much made me think of Rachel Green in the early 2000s, late 90s. So I think that's kind of fun and unique. And some people have complained about the length, like they wish it was longer. This length doesn't bother me because I understand where it comes from. What I don't like is this jacket. So I have seen almost every creator who has reviewed this doll do this, has tried to move this bodice over because it looks crooked. It looks crooked because this is meant to be a double-breasted jacket, but it's not actually. For a double-breasted jacket, what you have is one layer and then another layer that comes over it, and there would be a button behind here. I'm just going to unsnap this. There would be a button behind here that would button all the way over here that would bring this to the center rather than it being off to the side. So these buttons should be lined up, and they should be 2 and 2, not 2 off to her right and none off to her left. And so to me, this jacket just looks lopsided. I think they would have been better to put a button here and a button here. Like, these are meant to look like buttons, right? I think it would have been better to put a button here and a button here, or just put 2 down the front, right? Why do you have to have the double-breasted look? I don't think it adds anything to this doll. If anything, I think it looks crooked. And I think other people agree with me. I've seen other creators, as soon as they open it, they try to pull this over. They try to make it even. They try to make it in the center, and you're not ever going to do it. It's how it's made. Do you see where these princess seams are? So that's what this is. There's no darts in this. There's just these princess seams that form this to the doll's body, because you can see with them the way they are laid out, right? This runs down the center of the breast. There's, right, it's all off center. So I don't know if I'm describing this well. When I'm editing this, I might go back through and show you some pictures to illustrate what I mean a little better. Now, that being said, I still think it's a cute idea. I really like the off the shoulder look. I think that's adorable. I think it's a nice update to a more vintage classic cut. Again, this is cut on men's clothing, right? With the boxy jacket, and it's paired with a pencil skirt here instead of pants, which a man would have. But other than that, it's a very masculine look. It doesn't even bother me that they didn't do the two-tone look. You know what? That might make me dislike these more if they'd made her collar white. Like her collar is white here. But I don't know. She doesn't have a hat, so maybe that would have thrown me off. It also doesn't bother me that she doesn't have a hat. People don't wear hats like they used to. Women were still wearing hats a lot in the 80s to dress up. And you just don't see that much anymore in, especially in business settings. You just don't see that much anymore. So I don't think her not having a hat is bad. I think that's fine. I think that's just a sign of the times. Now we know that our day to night Barbie, when we turn her outfit, right, we take her jacket off and we turn her skirt around, she has her party outfit, and it looks like this. Well, our after party girl has the same thing, and I'll give you a little bit of a preview of what that looks like. So she's got this glittery mini dress. It comes to about here. So this girl's actually got 3 looks, where day to night Barbie's really only got 2 looks. Now, day to night Barbie, all right, hold on, girl. She's got this Lurex bodysuit. So this is a bodysuit. It goes down, right, cut like a swimsuit. And it's made of Lurex fabric. So it's just shiny threads woven together. This is glittery. And I've seen a lot of creators complain about glitter being everywhere. Although I'm not seeing that. I'm kind of rubbing it. A little glitter came off. See it? Yep. So this is not just shiny fabrics woven together. There's glitter on this fabric, and that's kind of annoying. I get it, right? Finding the right fabrics can be a pain, but come on. So the jacket is beautifully made, nicely lined. Looks like, oh, wow, it's fully lined too. Right, is it fully lined? Oh, no, it's not. It's just got a little shoulder cap. That makes more sense. You wouldn't want all that bulk in the sleeves. Oh, and there's slit at the sleeve. That's cute. It's a nice little detail. So yeah, so it's lined. Nicely cut. You can see the creases in it. That's because, again, the doll is in a contrapposto pose. And so it's pulling the fabric into a little bit out of shape in her pose. So that's where all these creases are coming from. But really cute. Nice. This is nicely done. And metal snaps. Not something you see much of anymore. So metal snaps. Look at how that's still showing her body. See how this hip is really pushed out and this hip is not? This is the active leg. That's the leg all her weight is on. Look at how, you can even see, wow, all right, where's my art history students? You can even see, fold that down. So when that happens, when you stand in a contrapposto stance, this hip comes out because these muscles are engaged. This leg is relaxed, so that hip goes down. And then in response, the shoulder goes up and this shoulder goes down. And so you can really see that S-shaped curve to the body. You can see it there too. Look at that. Creases in fabric always show you where the tension is. They point to where the tension is. And the tension is in those hips because that's what's moving. In the hips and in the shoulders because that's what's moving. That's where the creases are. Cleverly made. All right. So we'll take her skirt off too, because she has the same kind of trick with her skirt. Another metal snap, which is cool. I'm going to shimmy this down her hips. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, I've seen other creators. I knew what I was in for. I see other creators fight with this. So I'm a little worried there may be some bleeding, or that they're worried that there might be bleeding onto the legs over time. So that's something to keep an eye on. All right, so there's party dress number 1. Or party look, I should say, evening look number 1. So this is more of like a cocktail dress, right? She's going out, she's having a good time with her girlfriends. Maybe she and Barbie are going to go have fun. So let's put her mules on her. It's too bad they didn't give her like a clutch purse or something small and cute. Oh man, these shoes fit so well. Look at that. I mean, I've had dolls from the early 60s on up through the 80s that have had mules. Those crappy mules that are cute, but they just slide right off the foot. Look at how that clings to her foot. And I was right, that little molding for her heel. Her feet just slide right in. And them cute little toes. She got little toenails painted. Her fingernails painted. Sure are. I like that they went with white too. It's nice and understated. So again, this is her little cocktail dress. She's headed out for evening with the girls. Maybe she'll wear her silver necklace. That's the other accessory she comes with that I forgot to bring up. Yeah, it's cute. Maybe she's going out earlier in the day too, and so she'll have her sunglasses on. Probably not. This is a I wear my sunglasses at night look, isn't it? Because this is definitely a I like the nightlife, I like the boogie dress. Well, I wasn't going to change Barbie out of her dress, but you know what? She's looking a little too stuffy now. All right, so here are our girls all dressed up. And I kind of wanted to see them next to each other because that's a pretty faithful color reproduction. I don't know if that really translates well onto camera, but this bodysuit and her little mini dress, that's a good dupe. It's a good dupe. It's a little annoying that there's glitter, but I'm in my studio. Glitter away, girl. Get glitter everywhere. It's fine. It's not gonna bother me. Yeah, it has a very similar kind of sheen and a very similar kind of look. I'm pretty impressed. I think that was a clever way of doing it. And look at those. Look at that superstar face reproduction too. Really nice. Really nicely done. Just a beautiful, beautiful doll. I gotta tell you, so far I'm pretty impressed. So far I am pretty impressed. All right. So this girl, that's it. That's all the looks she's got. She's got her. This is her night look. She did come with earrings. These are reproduction earrings. I don't have her originals, so I made her a set of really shiny ones so that she could be sparkly. This girl did not come with earrings, and her ears are not pierced. Well, there's a dot there where you could pierce them if you wanted to. So if I wanted to give her earrings, I absolutely could. Who knows? Maybe that's a thing that'll happen down the road. Our after party girl, her hair, as you can see, is much more platinum, where day to night has more of a honey colored hair. Now, I only have this one day to night, and she is from, oh, I'm never gonna be able to look that up. Forgot, there's no snaps in the back of this bodysuit, so getting her undressed is a bit of a chore, and I don't want to risk ruining this bodysuit. So I couldn't even tell you what country she was manufactured in, but she's got more of a honey color. I don't know if that's true for all of them, but it's definitely true for this one. She's got a little bit of hat hair too. Give her a break. She wears that hat a lot. All right, so we're gonna move baby in the corner here for just a moment because I'm gonna bring her to the forefront because she is not done. She's got one more look for us. So her lovely skirt here is also reversible. Now, one thing I like that they did with Day to Night Barbie is her skirt snaps up the back, and this one does not. Also, all right, oh, yeah, mine has the problem that a lot of people have complained about. Look at that terrible seam. I'll go through and fix that, but that's just shoddy workmanship. Come on. It's, that's where the dress was turned inside out, because this is basically a bag. It's bag lined and then turned inside out, and then they stitched it shut. But look at that crappy, crappy seam. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's not okay. That looks terrible. It looks even worse in person, by the way, than it does on film. I might try to take a still shot of it so that you can see it, because oof. Oosa, that's bad. All right, well, let's get it on her. Okay, that was awkward and inelegant. Because this is form-fitting and this is form-fitting. And you have to tuck this down in here, yet the skirt only opens to just below her bum. Terrible design. They really should have made it like that skirt where it snaps all the way down the back. That's just a terrible design. So I ended up having to take a point turner and use that to shove the dress and hope I didn't snag it or put a hole in it. That was nerve-wracking few minutes. And if you don't have a lot of sewing tools or a lot of experience turning things inside out that are uncomfortable to turn inside out, I don't know how you would tackle that. It was really, and if you had a better experience with that, let me know. If you have this doll, you had a big experience with that, let me know. Also, if you have this doll, how's your side seam? Is it really bad like that? Can you see that? Look at how you can see the stitches. Like it's smooth, and then I can count the stitches there. Yeah, that's gonna be the first thing I do is fix that. What shoddy workmanship. I wonder if I can give it a gentle tug. Look at even see how it scoops in too? It's just badly sewn. All right, I'll take a look at that later. But this is the other look. And yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan. It's all right. The skirt fits weird. It fits weird, and I didn't notice it when it was the other way. But now, because of the shiny fabric, I'm seeing every imperfection in the sewing, and it fits weird. Also, this is a material change. I understand now what people are talking about. People were not fond of this look, and I was like, what are you talking about? It's great. No, this sucks. This is not a good design. Yeah, it's an interesting idea to give her 3 looks. They should have just gone with the, and boom, there's a mini skirt. Done. End of story. Because this is just, these 2 fabrics are just fighting for attention for me. Because they're the same color, but they're a different texture. Same color, same sheen, different texture. And so they don't, I don't know. They don't look like they go together. I need a belt or something to define this area. Also, you can see the fabric is rolling out because it's just badly sewn. So you can see the fabric is rolling out from the over skirt. That's what that light pink is, that lighter pink is. Yeah. No, that's not a, boy, that's what a disappointment. What a disappointment. What a good dress this could have been. And it ticks off a lot of marks. Yeah, so I know a lot of people didn't like the Model Muse body. I don't mind it. I think it's kind of cool. It's a unique sculpt for me. I don't have one in my collection, so I'm digging it. She's very pretty. I love the superstar face. That is a 100 plus win. I love her hair. It's nice and thick. It feels like saran. It's really soft and beautiful. It's got just a little bit of curl at the ends, so it looks to me like superstar hair. It's not really terrible out of the box either. I haven't combed it or anything. It looks pretty good. So, just a little comb, and look how that fluffed right up. So yeah, it's really nice hair. See, but then this makes me mad when I get a doll with bad hair, because I'm like, you can do good hair, right? You can do pretty fabrics. You can do nice, detailed accessories. You can do good fitting shoes. You can do these things. You just choose not to, right? Anytime you get a doll that doesn't have that level of detail, it's a choice. Anyway, sorry. So I got off base there. I like her fingernails and toenails being painted. I think that's nice. I like that she has individual toes. Like, that's nice. Like, these are little things that elevate her above just a playline doll. That being said, even taking into account all those little details, she still in a lot of ways feels like an 80s playline doll as far as the quality goes. Not that she's not great quality, just those dolls are great quality. And I just expect more for a collector doll, right? Than something that's what I'm used to a playline being. Maybe that's not fair, but I don't know, like with technology, getting faster and manufacturing getting more efficient and business getting more efficient, shouldn't the products they're putting out be better, not worse? Shouldn't they be more quality, not less quality? Am I taking crazy pills here? So this is in my thesis of Mattel doesn't give a fuck. So that's my criticisms aside. Am I happy I have her? Absolutely. She's so beautiful. I love her body mold. Even though I don't like this look, I like the other two looks a lot. So that's fine, right? And I'm not going to play with her much. And I probably actually will put her back in her suit and I'll probably never take her out of it again. Although I do really like that party dress, even though it's just a tube of fabric. And so that is kind of cheating. Like you got to pick your battles sometimes. And it's like, at least it's executed well. If it was a tube of fabric and not executed well, then I'd be annoyed with it. But this is a tube of fabric and it's really pretty and executed well. So, forgivable. I just want to say, like, this doll was on the shelves in 1985. Look at her straps. Her straps are little spaghetti straps made out of this fabric. That is a complicated manufacturing technique. And here they've pulled it off flawlessly. It's beautiful. You wouldn't have even noticed it if I hadn't said anything. The waistband on her skirt is a little tube of fabric made out of that same tool. It's beautiful. You would not have noticed it if I hadn't said anything. It's wonderful, right? Sure, are the edges hemmed? No, they're just cut. But this fabric's not going to fray, so it doesn't matter. That's one way that you can get away from not having bulk on your dresses when you're working at this scale, is by working with fabrics that when they're cut cleanly don't need to be hemmed. That doesn't bother me. A lot of people throw a fit when it's fabric that's just cut off. As long as it looks nice, I don't care. That's fine. It's not going to fray. It looks nice and neat, and you're not going to have all that bulk at the bottom. You're working at this scale, you got to pick your battles as far as that comes. This, like just a little waistband like this, would make this such a cleaner transition rather than just bag lined and then turned inside out. That's such a lazy way of making it. Lazy. This is a lazy way of finishing this. Lazy. This is a lazy design. Hey, so editing Sherry here, and I'm not trying to imply that the designer was being lazy when he designed this. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is this is a manufacturing choice that was made. They got lazy when it came to reproducing it. I'm sure the designer's sample was a beautifully made product. This is just shortcuts were made, and they're just disappointing shortcuts. Okay, back to the video. It's a lazy design and it's a lazy execution of a lazy design. And so then I do go back to, and that little party dress, which I was happy with a minute ago, now I'm like, that's just a tube of fabric. And now I'm mad about that too. Do you see what I'm saying? Right? Like, don't raise my expectations. And I think this doll was like $60 when she came out or something. I did not pay that for her. I think I paid $30. She's a $30 doll. She's not a $60 doll. Don't buy her for $60. If you can get her on the secondhand market for cheaper, do it. But don't pay full price for her, because I don't think she's worth that. Unless you really love her. If you really love her and you got the money to do it, do it. But if you're on the fence and you're not sure, wait until you can find her for a good deal, because I don't know that she's worth $60. She's beautiful. And I'm really super glad I got her at a good price when I could, and that she's in my collection. But Mattel, what are you doing? Okay, well, there's my review I hope that was interesting for you. Contrast this to my unboxing of Astronaut Barbie and how thrilled I was, and I was giggling and having a good time from beginning to end because it's just a really good doll. She's just really beautifully executed. Her accessories are gorgeous. She's just super fun, and everything is just, everything's just thought out and just great. All right, some of the accessories are weird, but they're still fun and they're high quality and they're really nice. Where here I'm just like, the accessories are fine. There's nothing to write home to mom about, but they're fine. They work well with the outfits. Do I wish they'd taken a little more time with it like they did with Day to Night? Sure. I could have done without this third look and had a laptop or a briefcase and a laptop, or a purse that was made out of fabric instead of a big chunk of plastic, right? Just a little more attention to detail and a little bit more extraordinariness with the accessories, I think would have been way better than this third look, which is just a swing and a miss. All right, that's it. I'm not going to talk about him anymore. Oh, I will. One more thing. I may leave this out, but I just want to do a side-by-side comparison of the boots. Let's see if I can do this. So here's our little shoe. That's not going to work. I'm just going to have to hold these. So there's a little comparison of the shoe versus the boot. I'm sorry, my big old fingers are in the way. There we go. I like that the bottom of the shoe's pink. See what I mean? That's what it needs. Like if the bottom of the shoe is pink connecting those two, I think it would look more interesting. Right now, doesn't that look weird? Or is it just me? I don't know. I'll show you some pictures of some spectators and you can, and by the way, I Googled spectator boots. It's not a thing. This is a thing Mattel invented. This doesn't exist. If it does, please let me know. All right. So that's it. Like, subscribe, share. Put your comments down below. Did you get this doll? Are you happy with her? You going to keep her in the box? That's also an option. She looks great in the box. What do you think of, for the money, honestly, you could pick up a secondhand Day to Night Barbie for the price that she's going for. And I think that would be a better value in my opinion. So she'd be out of the box, but still you could skim around and find a Day to Night Barbie out of the box for in good shape for that price. So tickle around and tell me what you think. What's your opinion? Do you like her? Do you not like her? What's her pros? What's her cons? And I'll see you in the next video. All right? First I'll see you in the comments down below, and then I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Once again, I want to thank my Patreon subscribers, particularly those that are at the DeMedici level, Michael Kegley and Tara Meldrum. But everybody at every level is greatly appreciated. That's what helps me make these videos. So if you want to join these wonderful folks, check out the links down in the description box. I love you all. See you later.